Welcome to Through the Lens of Astrology. I'm your host, Heather Arielle, and it is still Aquarius season. So we're celebrating all things Aquarius, and we just had a wonderful new moon in that sign on February 2nd. And you know how I like a new moon. We get one every month, and it's just a time to say, okay, let's connect to that energy because it allows us to, if we're trying to do something new, it gives a little more momentum to it. And if we want to continue with something that we're doing that we really care about, it kind of it gives a little extra energy to that. So it's a nice time to be extra present with our energy. And I have a unique oracle card spread that I do like to do on the show with each new moon. So yeah, we're going to do that. We're going to bring in some inspirational messages to help unify the group. And we also had a couple of retrogrades and yeah, going direct now. So Venus and Mercury going direct in Capricorn, which adds very different energy from Aquarius. So I'm going to talk about how do we make the most of both of those energies? How do we, yeah, blend them and just manifest by combining those two very strong, but yeah, very different energies. We also have Mars in Capricorn as well. And I always like to talk about what Mars does because it is especially active. It is warrior energy. And if you're watching this on my YouTube channel, Heather Arielle's House of Astrology, please like and subscribe. That will help me. And yeah, and if you've missed a show, you can check out. You see, I have a lot of videos, and I also check out, my radio show on Beacon of Light Radio. If you are watching the video, and if you're listening, yeah, check out my YouTube. You can also check out articles and more information on my Facebook, Heather Arielle's House of Astrology. Okay, so all right, all things Aquarius. It is independent thinking, right? It is one of a kind thinking. It has that unique approach I talk about a lot, and it is the element of air. So yeah, whenever energy enters Aquarius, it's like, okay, what are we thinking? Let's really get our ideas in order and find out a way to share them because they're going to be, we can find alternative, unique approaches and alternative solutions. It's also wonderful for science and technology, right? And Aquarius is so important. I've talked about this a lot. You can check out some of my videos where I go into depth about why is it so important, the age of Aquarius and Saturn in Aquarius. Okay, so when the sun is in Aquarius, it just gives momentum to some very significant energy. It's really saying, because astrology is full of layers, okay, nuance and duality. So we want to say, well, if Aquarius is the path, right? We've got the age of Aquarius, Uber path. Saturn is a very important path. Every couple of years, we get a path through Saturn. And then it's like, okay, the sun can, give extra energy to that. It is saying it is the path of, by really connecting to our most original parts and finding a way to share them, we can retain our individuality while at the same time benefiting the group. That's why there's beautiful humanitarian energy around Aquarius. It is reform energy at the highest level. Okay. And it's energy that that awakens people to say, okay, because we all come in with very strong cultural imprints, right? It's like, this is what society expects of you, this is what family expects of you, right? It's like everybody expects something, right? And we have that, we need the Aquarians, and we need Aquarius energy to sort of say, well, okay, if that works for you, but what if that doesn't resonate with who you are? Okay, so we need the Aquarians to say, well, guess what? There's also atheism. There's also astrology. There are alternatives. Okay, so make sure that you choose your path. And you may end up saying, so I often talk about like, oh, okay, everything's going on in the center. And then we've got like Aquarius, like, ooh, are you sure? Are you sure? What about this? What about that? And it's just, you just want to ask the questions. And it's okay that if you say, oh no, I really like, I really like this. I really like, okay, I'm just gonna, it's like, great. It's not saying that you got to become this or got to become that, but you need to choose, and you need to make sure that you are choosing your path. Okay. And that is a gift right now. And these are some questions to be asking yourself. Okay. All right. Now, okay. And also, I bring a lot of different information in. I have eclectic taste. The ruler of my whole chart is an Aquarius, and my destiny, my North Node is an Aquarius. So I have some unusual tastes, and it is eclectic. And so I'm going to bring in a lot of that because what I try to do, astrology is symbolic, but it's deeply personal. So everything I do is trying to help you connect to your astrology in the most personal way. And that's why I'll bring in and I'll describe a performance as having certain astrological qualities, or I'll bring in a TV show that I've seen or something, because I'm trying to help you connect to this is what this energy looks like or feels like, in my opinion, and to personalize it. So then you can maybe better connect with it and make it work for you. Okay, all right. So let's just go ahead and get right into the new moon spread. All right. So now we always start. Okay, so just remember, this is the moon card. Oh yeah, and I should say these cards are from my oracle deck, the fundamentals of astrology that I co-created with artist Tom Cummins, who is an Aquarian. And I even wrote a little article because I got a lot of Gemini, and I even wrote a little article. It's like, ooh, what happens when an Aquarian meets a Gemini? It's like you get a unique and whimsical oracle deck, because Gemini is so, you get the duality of the oh my gosh, there are messages on both sides. Okay, that's the Gemini. And it's very playful and ooh, whimsical. And then the Aquarius is like, yeah, it's going to be one of a kind. So it's a magical collaboration that I have with him. And for the new moon spread, we do moon reverse, because the moon is the least conscious part of the chart. So the moon is like, oh, I feel this, it's so intuitive. And then, but for the new moon, we have illumination. So we reverse the moon card, and it's, yeah, it's that lovely, I can see clearly now, the fog is lifting. Okay, so it's that wonderful song, I can see clearly now. You'll soon have the answers you need to make an informed decision. So that's why we're extra present with energy with the new moon, and the retrogrades just went direct. Oh yeah, let's get present, and we can then get information that can really help us make some good informed, I like that word, oh yeah, decisions. I like those. Okay. Now, so I separate the my oracle deck into different piles so that we can, we have a variety, so that we get to pick an element, we get to pick a modality, we get to pick a zodiac sign, we get to pick, so then we really get a very complex message. All right, for this. But I have a lot of oracle spreads that in my planner, and I'll show you my planner. If you really want to learn more and just really experience your energy in a very personal way, I will be referencing, this is a planner. It is, Astro Planner, an activity book. 2022, and it has all kinds of, I think, really fun, meaningful activities, ways, and oracle card spreads, ways for you to connect to your energy that is meaningful, and and is really enjoyable. Yeah, because things have to be fun for me to do. That's the Gemini. So I will show you. Yeah, I'm going to show you some of that. You can follow along. Okay. Now, all right, so we start and we pull an element. Elements are so important. If you're having trouble connecting to your energy, try to break it down into, well, what is your main element? Okay, so Aquarius, I said, is air. It's of the mind. It's, what are you thinking? Okay, Capricorn, which we have a lot of, that is the earth. It is extremely connected to the material physical plane. Okay, Taurus is the most connected and the slowest. Capricorn is the second most connected and the second slowest. So that means with all this earth, because there's a lot in earth right now, we're gonna, like, there we are a little bit slower. We're moving a little more slowly. Okay, even though Aquarius, the air generally is fast, but Aquarius is um the, in some ways, the slowest of the air. Gemini is the fastest because it's like whoo, 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 whoo. I talk about the popcorn of Gemini. um Libra is pretty, like, oh, it's give and take, it's, of the air sign, and so it's like, ooh, like this. Okay, and then Aquarius is more like, I've got it. It's like the epiphanies, okay? It's like the Sherlock Holmes. Oh my gosh. It's like the eureka moments where it doesn't mean that every single second is like genius running around, but oh my gosh, then the light bulb goes off and it's like, ooh, get ready to hear this amazing idea. Okay. So, and then, yeah, so you want to connect to the element. Yeah, sometimes that's almost the easiest way. And then the water, it's like, oh, what do I feel? Yeah. Okay. All right, here we go. All right. And these are, messages to say over the next, you know, uh, couple, we can tell the next new moon. What's energy that if we connect to is going to be extra beneficial to us? Oh my gosh, fire. Okay, and that's another element. Now, we just had Mars in Sagittarius. Okay, so our energy was in a fire sign for a while. Okay, and that really, whew, that lights things up. That gets things going. Fire is the most active. Fire is action. So it's, well, what are you going to do? What do you want to do? And sometimes with fire, you just do things. It's like, oh my gosh, I just did that. Oh, okay. So now how do you think? What do you think about what you just did? How do you feel about what you just did? With fire signs, they kind of act before they think. So when you connect to fire strongly, but fire is the who. You are encouraged. If you got a lot of fire in your chart, yeah, you're supposed to be taking actions and inspire other people. Now, okay, that means even though we don't have the fire right now in the, because the Mars just transitioned from Sag into Capricorn, we are being encouraged to, yeah, this is a wonderful one. It's like, now remember, fire can warm you up or it can burn you up. So I think this is just going to warm us up. It's going to be perfect because we're not going to overdo it, because with all that Capricorn, we're little goats and we're just like, okay, one step at a time. Okay. Because we got 3 planets in Capricorn right now. Okay. And our energy is in Capricorn. So we're going to go like this, but this is going to make sure that we're not like, oh, oh yeah. Okay. No, we're going to go. This should give us the confidence to go forward. But yeah, we do want to embrace that methodical, you know, little hoof in front of a little hoof up the mountain. Okay. And it's like slow and steady will win the race. Okay. I love to see that with the energy going on. Okay. And air loves fire. Woo. Remember air. Okay. All right. Air and fire. Yeah. Because air is like fuels fire. Okay. Wonderful. Now we're going to get a modality. All right. And modality is really, that is another way to say, how do we take action? So try to find the modality in your chart, because it's just a way that's saying, you know what? It's going to help you take action. And we'll talk about that. So Aquarius is fixed. All right. And when something is fixed, there's incredible stamina and there's focus, and you can just keep going. All right. So with Aquarius, because it's ideas, you can get an idea and you can get really fixed on an idea, but it also means you have the acuity, the mental ability to pursue an idea and develop it, and to allow the ideas to then, that's why it's like connected with innovation and genius, because it's like, I have the most amazing idea and I'm going to follow this through and I'm going to do this. And it's like, but you can put blinders on with fixed energy, but boy, you get to finish the race when you have fixed energy, it's like amazing. All right. Now, so let's get the modality. Okay. And then, yeah, Capricorn, we get the cardinal modality, which is individual initiative and things like that. And I will talk more about that because we just got the cardinal. Okay. All right. So with all the Capricorn, okay, we got the cardinal. Cardinal is do-it-yourself energy, in that it's individual initiative. Don't be afraid to act. Okay. And now that can mean, it doesn't mean you have to do everything by yourself, but it means you can say, hey, what about we do this? It's like, you don't hide what you're thinking. You initiate, right? And you say, well, we could do this and we could do that. You want to get on board with that? And somebody's like, yeah, okay. So this is leadership energy. In Capricorn, oh my gosh, it's mentorship energy, it's wisdom. They're the sages of the community when done right, when they develop They have they just can acquire wisdom. And I talk a lot about um, Maharishi Yogi, and I talk about Stephen Forrest, wonderful Capricorns that kind of they develop something, and they in a systematic way, they have all this knowledge, and then they say, okay, we're going to, if you follow all of these instructions and there's a real structure, I'm going to be able to convey what I know to you. That's Capricorn. It's building something that has a legacy, that has a real, that can have longevity and of permanence, because it's leadership and it's practical manifesting. I can manifest, I can manipulate the physical world. So it's also connected with business and what we consider to be real, right? Okay. Now, also, you know what? I get this card now. This is because I used to teach songwriting and I love music. So I got a lot of song titles, and You're Gonna Make It After All. I love that. It's from the Mary Tyler Moore Show. And I always find it inspirational. And I've never mentioned the writer of that song because I saw Mo Rocco interview on CBS Sunday Morning, Sonny Curtis. And I was like, why have I not talked about Sonny Curtis on the show when I pulled this card? Because he wrote this beautiful song. Yeah. And it's like, we got to honor the songwriters, right? Who create, these beautiful songs. And he also wrote Walk Right Back by the Everly Brothers. That's a great one. But anyway, yeah. So thank you, Sonny. This is real inspiration. So let this inspire. It's like, oh, that kind of like you step into something and it's beautiful. Okay. Now, fire and cardinal already, guess what? That makes Aries energy. So Aries is elevated. And you know what? We did a Mercury retrograde spread, and Aries was resurrected. There was a card to say, ooh, what do we resurrect? And the Aries card was pulled. So that means, guess what, Aries? Yeah. We still need you big time. You were resurrected during the Mercury retrograde, and yeah, we still need you. And also, when you think about energy, we have something may go retrograde, and then it's going to, when it goes direct, it doesn't mean it's back to where it was when it started. Like Venus retrograde went direct late January. It's going to take 8 weeks to get back to where it was when it went retrograde. So that means all those messages we pulled for Venus retrograde are in effect until Venus gets back to where it was. So Mercury retrograde, yeah, it went direct. But now it's going to still, all those messages we pulled are in effect till February. And that means that energy we're still working it out, and so that's how you think about that energy. Okay, now, yeah. Okay, so we're gonna have we're gonna do 3 pairs for this. All right. Okay, so for the first tier of inspiration, look at that, gorgeous. All right, we're resurrecting powerful Aries energy, and now we're gonna get, okay, oh yeah, okay, we're gonna get a planet. Oh, a planet and a sign. Yeah, 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 yeah. Okay. All right, here we go. Here we go. So this is a planet that if we embrace these energies, it's gonna, yeah, feel really, really good. And Aries is fearless. I saw an interview with Christine Baranski, and oh my gosh, it was great. She was saying how it was somebody who ended up being her husband, and he rode a motorcycle, and she got on, and she was a little afraid, and she was like, asked him, well, are you afraid, or aren't you afraid, something like that, and he was like, well, yeah, I am, but it's like you do it anyway. It's like the idea of, so what if you're afraid? It's like you do it anyway. Why does that stop you? Why is that even a question? That's Aries. It's like either they're not afraid at all, they're huge risk takers, or they're like, yeah, of course, but you're going to do it anyway. So I always say, let's try to be fearless, or just more fearless than what you normally are when you have progressions in Aries, or when energy is in that, or when we're inspired, right? These messages are for me as much as they are for you all. So it's like, okay, going to be a little more fearless. But that is obviously subjective. Okay, so let's get a planet. Okie dokie. Oh my gosh, I love it. We got Venus. Oh, that's gorgeous. Oh, that's so beautiful. Okay, you know what? Venus was in the December 2020 new moon spread. And because that wasn't an eclipse spread, guess what? Those messages are good for 3 to 6 months. And so Venus keeps, yeah, it keeps popping up. Oh, that is gorgeous. All right. Well, Venus is, yeah, it is grace. It is beauty, right? We want to beautify the world, take actions that beautify our surroundings, right? And then you also want to take you want to add civility to the world. You want to be diplomatic and assertively diplomatic, right? This highlights Libra and Taurus energy because this resonates to Venus. It's like, it's like, oh, I think this, and what do you think? Okay, all right, and then Taurus is, well, what do you value? Let's get back to our values, right? And we want to value ourselves as well. But I'll tell you, there's very little civility going on right now. And that all that energy in Sag. Sag is so wonderful in that it highlights differences, which is really important to say, okay, let's get clear. This is what I want. This is what you want. Oh, this is who I am. This is who you are. But then the challenge is, okay, how do we blend the non-blendable? That's Sagittarius. How are we tolerant? Or how do we say, yeah, we're not going to blend that, but we're going to get along. And so we're now going to devise a plan to get along. And, I think of Jayapal, Primala Jayapal, who really resonates. I'll tell you with that I talked about her a few shows back about how she was handling Joe Manchin. It was like, how are you handling when something gets very difficult? And it's like she used Venus action. She's always saying, okay, when you hear her talk, it's like she has such a diplomatic approach, and of how can we assert ourselves, right? We speak the truth, but in a very Venusian way. So we're going to allow, then I'm thinking of Michelangelo, and who was just talking about that? David. And it's like, it's like something very, so it's like you want to think of like beautify the world, and you want to think of civility with new approach, right? And think of Kamala Harris with Libra energy. I mean, she is so diplomatic and yet so assertive. Okay, all right, now let's see. Okay, where was I just? Sometimes I can't remember where I hear about things. Okay, here we go. Let's get a zodiac sign to go with this pair. Okay, but we're going to take all the messages, right? They're all part of the new moon message. Okay, here we go. All right. Oh yeah, you know what? Just because this brings up Taurus energy, and it brings up the idea of value yourself, because Venus is connected to that. I saw a wonderful I heard a wonderful podcast, Mika Brzezinski's new podcast, and she was interviewing Katty Kay, who wrote The Confidence Code. And it's just so important about how do we, especially this is focused on girls, right, and women. How do we make sure that girls develop confidence and keep it? And so it's like, yeah, we gotta, when you get the Venus card, it is about, you gotta love yourself, right? And you got to do that. And that's something I'm going to read the book and probably talk more about, because it's something very dear to my heart. And it's pay attention to girls. When you're around girls who are around 12 years old, 11 or 12 years old, 10, 11, 12. It's a key time. Make sure that you're doing everything you can to build their confidence. Check in with them, see what's going on with them, because they apparently, from the data, they lose a lot of confidence during that time. And God forbid something really horrible happens to them at that time. Think about how difficult that is. So check in with them and make sure that, they need extra attention to make sure that they can maintain that confidence and value themselves. Yeah. Okay. All righty. Let's get a zodiac sign. Okay. All right. Okay, here we go. Okay. Oh, Gemini. Oh my gosh. Okay, you know what? I always get extra excited because, I got a stellium in Gemini, and it doesn't seem to come up that much. So, I just feel extra special. Okay, no, this is great. Okay, all right. We got Gemini in the mix, calling all Geminis, step up to the plate. Yeah, we need you. We need you, because guess what? Geminis, they bend like a willow. Yeah, this is the most adaptable. the most adaptable energy. All the mutable signs are flexible, but Gemini is the most, because Geminis really do. The twins, generally, they are of two minds all the time. It's like Libras were like, oh, this and then this, oh, this or this, you know, and it's like, and a Gemini is like, yep, this and this, I'm both simultaneously. Okay, it's like two feelings, you know, it's like two thoughts, two feelings, two ideas. So we need to be extra adaptable right now. Okay, we need to bend like a willow. And we need, yeah, so, and we need to make connections. Gemini, the highest manifestation of Gemini energy is connect the dots, put things together. And I have to say, I'm pretty good at this, you know, like I can go back over several months, and if I've seen somebody, I can think about all the times I've seen them, what they were carrying, what they were wearing, what they said to me, and then you can connect. Or I can hear a phrase and I can say, oh, all of these people said that phrase over. So it's like, this is what Gemini does. We need to make connections, and we need to put things together, and we need to be fluid. Gemini is fluid. It is of the mind, like Aquarius. So the mind is extremely elevated right now. We got to really honor. It's like, I got to do more I've started to get back to more meditation. Heals the mind. Okay, we got to really honor what we're thinking. Okay, because thoughts are things, and I know it's like they really impact. What I'm thinking impacts how I feel and how I behave. And so that's something I'm aware of. And even though I'm aware of it, it's still hard, because you know, you don't always have the most beautiful thoughts, but we got to try, and we got to always like remember that. So yeah, Gemini and Aquarius. Okay, a lot of air. Let's put things together, and let's be extra. And it's about communication too. And it's, you know, and it's so yeah, we got to communicate. There's a lot about verbalizing right now. It's like we have to really use our words when we have the Aquarius new moon and Gemini is elevated. Yeah, communicate. Yeah, yeah. Okay. Wow. All right. Okay, so now we're going to do another zodiac sign, and we're going to put it with an area of experience. Because remember, there are all these areas of experience in your natal chart. You just got to have your birth time, get your natal chart. They have apps, you can do it. You can order one from me if you want. You can, but you know, but you can get them free online. Sometimes, you know, it's going to be a little bit different how the layout is, and sometimes it's maybe not as easy to read, but use your birth time, get your chart. You want to know the cusp on each house, because that's going to give you an extra layer of knowledge of how to really interact, yeah, with your chart. Okay, here we go now. Okay, amen. Okay. Oh, Sagittarius is elevated. Okay, well, that makes sense, because that new moon eclipse is very powerful. So, and Sag goes so beautifully with the Aquarius energy. This is tolerance. This is blending the non-blendable. And this is at least figuring out ways where very different people can get along. I mean, this is so American. Okay, this is, I've talked about this. This is the ascendant. This is the face of the country. This is the face of our president. He's Sag rising, the face of, it's not the face of our governor, but I have a great governor, Andy Bashir. He's, but it's his son is in Sag. But it's still, you know, it's so, a lot of great politicians resonate. It's about, I got a message, I got strong beliefs, I have a message, and I'm going to share it. You know, it's very philosophical, and it's very, though, inclusive. Okay, this is inclusive, not exclusive. So we want to include, and we can use alternative, unique approaches to include people. So Aquarians, you got to step up to the plate right now and say, oh, well, we can include people this way, or include people that way, or okay, these people are so different, and here's an alternative, unique idea, and we're going to be able to at least coexist, even if we can't blend. Okay, we need the Aquarians to really offer up some epiphanies and some unique ways to honor the Sag themes, and get and have the Geminis to come in to make those connections. So sort of like, you got the Aquarius, you got the Sag, and then the Gemini's like, I'm going to bring us all together, because I'm going to connect the dots. That's beautiful. That's gorgeous. And Sag is fire. Okay. Sag is fire. So we've got, Sag and Aries still very much in the mix. Okay. All right. I tell you, I love it because here we started with all this Earth and Capricorn, and it's saying, oh, yeah, those gifts we're going to use, but these are saying we need all of this in the mix too. Okay. So now what is the area of experience? Okay. Oh yeah, Sag is connected to Jupiter, and that can be connected to uncles and I have a great uncle, and I'll tell you, I just saw The Tender Bar, and that was really about a young kid who um, had an amazing relationship. It was George Clooney movie, and Ben Affleck played the uncle, and it's like it just reminded me of it's like how important an uncle is, and that is a Sagittarius Jupiter. Yeah. So it's like we can really help people even when we're not the parent, you know. That was beautiful. And it's very philosophical. That also asked questions about, it was like, what can an uncle do for you? What can education do for you? How do you become a writer? No, this is about writing too and publishing. Yeah, it's all about a beautiful journey of this young boy who learns to become a writer. Okay, anyway, that's a tangent, but okay, here, let's get this. All right. Oh, man. Third house. Okay. Third house. That is, guess what? That's Gemini's house. Gemini's. Oh, okay. I'm loving it. Now, this is the house of ideas. So again, it's Aquarius energy. This really complements. It's like, what are you thinking? This is communicate anyway, whether you're learning something, you're writing something, you're teaching, but it's like definitely connecting to the ideas and finding ways to communicate them. It also elevates, you got to think like check in with your neighborhood, what's going on. It could really be influencing you because we belong to a lot of different groups, don't we? We have the most intimate, when you're a team and you have your partner, you have your romantic partner. If hey, if for the people who still want to team up, it's like anything goes nowadays. But however, your team, and then it's like, okay, you've got your family unit, and then you got your neighborhood, right? And then you've got, the country, and you've got the world, you've got all these groups. They go on and on. So you really want to think about how are you going to, just go through, and you want to, ask yourself that question, and how you're going to contribute, because I'm always talking about the group and how can we contribute. So this is, yeah, think about, is this really coming down to communicating your ideas, and definitely communicating, making sure you know what's going on in your neighborhood, but more importantly, it is, what are we thinking? Let's get it straight and let people know, and then you can debate, okay, and do that. This is so beautiful. Okay, you know what I'm going to do? So I'm just going to take a quick picture of this so I can remember, and then, okay, let me just, can I get this? Oh my gosh, I hope this works. Okay, yeah, all righty. So we're going to take a quick picture, and then we're going to talk about how we can. All right, great. Because I like to pull a couple of more cards a little bit later in the show. I always like to pull cards for the people, yeah, in charge, because I always say, hey, it doesn't matter what you think of the people in charge. I believe that anybody who has the power to raise the consciousness of the planet, and guess what? If you're an elected official, you have that power. We need to give love to that person, and we need to have beautiful intentions and do everything we can to help them. Okay. I happen to really support the people in charge. Okay. I think they're fantastic. But I mean, I pray for, people I disagree with. Okay. I still do everything I can to help. Okay. So now, all right. So I'm going to put these together, and I want to talk a little bit let's talk a little bit about Capricorn, just because we got so much Mercury, Venus, Mars, and Capricorn. And what does that really mean? I saw some things I wanted to bring up. I saw Being the Ricardos, which is a movie by Aaron Sorkin, and it has Nicole Kidman and Javier Bardem. And I'll tell you, now Nicole Kidman, I've seen, she's got like Gemini, Scorpio, like me. I've always really connected to her acting. Now, Lucille Ball was Capricorn, and I was amazed at the performance Nicole Kidman gives, because Capricorn, I've talked about this. Capricorn, there is, people don't realize how hilarious they are.
but there's a seriousness with Capricorn, okay? And there's perfect timing, okay? And it's almost like there's like a deadpan poker face delivery. And you think of like Baby Newirth playing in Frasier, that character especially, like what a Capricorn. Like that was just perfect Capricorn timing. So you can watch that. And then you watch Nicole Kidman playing Lucille Ball. They're in rehearsal, they're looking at this, and she's like, she said, oh, there's a close up on her face. And as she imagines the scene, and she's like, you can tell she's like, yeah, this isn't funny. Okay, but this is okay. And then she'll say, oh, that's a funny premise. And it's like deadly serious. And I was just like, oh my God, she's just channeling Capricorn energy. And it's like, and it's amazing. So I just thought, if you want to connect to that, because what I try to do is bring in whatever I see. I have eclectic taste. I see a lot of different stuff. But when I see something that resonates to current energy, I bring it to you. So then you can be like, oh, if you watch that, you'd be like, oh, okay, that's what Heather Arielle is saying is Capricorn. And that is like, because then it's like and you may see yourself in that if you have Capricorn, or when energy is in Capricorn, we want to like say there are benefits to being to having that serious element. Or if you're going to deal with Capricorns, right? Sometimes you got to learn about this to say, okay, it makes us more tolerant, right? Because we're like, oh, this is this person's mode of energy, right? And we want to try to connect with that and say, okay, I get it. All right. Because the Capricorn is there is it's a it can be very practical. It's connected to Saturn. And there is like my publisher, Carolyn Oakley, I have on the show all the time, has a stellium in Capricorn. And with my Gemini, I'm always like, and she's like, okay, and I'm going to take one of those things. And let's just try to, and I'm like, okay, all right, okay, and I'm like all fidgety. So it's like, it's important to then also, I'm trying to help you connect to what that energy is. So then you can even recognize it in other people, and that's going to help you get along with them better. Yeah. Okay. Now, all right. So now, all right, I'm going to start shuffling this. And the whole oh yeah, the mentorship. This is a wonderful time with so much energy in Capricorn. Share what you know. And if you don't know something, it's great to, take that class or seek out a mentor. And, I saw an interview with Carl Bernstein, and he was saying how important one of his one of his first mentors, and I can't remember the first name, but it was Epstein. I have to look up that name, but it was, he said, Carl Bernstein said of one of his first mentors who really got him into the whole business of the newspaper business, said he saw things in him that he didn't see in himself. And I just thought, I mean, that's just so beautiful. That's something that is the essence of what we can do as of embracing Capricorn energy. The wisdom comes in, and that I'm going to be able to see something in you that maybe you didn't see in yourself, right? And I'm going to share that. And that's the beautiful instruction that can come. So, we should all be doing that. It's like honoring our mentors and mentoring. And John King and Wolf Blitzer, I saw in they were talking, and John King was like, oh, when I first got to CNN, Wolf Blitzer, he was thanking him, saying, thank you. You really helped me. You mentored me. And I thought, well, that's beautiful, Capricorn. So, that's what we got to do. That's something, that's an action. Mars is in Capricorn. We want to take Capricorn actions. What's a Capricorn action? Yeah, mentoring, sharing the wisdom, and creating. It's also like creating longevity, creating things of permanence, but in that slow, methodical way. So in some ways you feel like, Capricorn and Aquarius, they compete. Well, okay. Oh, you know what? I just realized, oh, I can see it there. Okay. Um, okay. I'm just trying. Yeah. So you can think that they compete. Okay, I gotta be able to see that. Well, but let's blend. So this is an example. How do you blend such different energy? Okay, because Aquarius can be just wildly different and rebellious. Okay, like really, yeah, politically incorrect. I was talking about Bill Maher because it's just like, somebody's just because and it can be like rebel with a cause or rebel without a cause, but you are a rebel, okay? When you have the Uranian Aquarius. But remember, Aquarius is so complicated because then you've got the Saturn Aquarians, which is, Abraham Lincoln. It's like there's like their reform. It's humanitarian, but they can be, even though he was unique, he was extremely tall. Sometimes there is something that you just stands out, but it can be a very stable Aquarian. So you've got two very different types of Aquarians. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So but how do you blend that energy? Well, I talk about Saturn is also connected to Capricorn. All right. So with the Capricorn energy, you want to have that practical approach, right? And it's like it can actually help you get things done. It's discipline. Okay. That's the serious. That's the honing it in. That's like, okay, I'm going to look at this scene and we have all these things to do. And when we do it, it's going to be hilarious, but I'm going to be deadly serious as I'm putting all the parts together. And, that's the Capricorn. And the Aquarius is like, we can embrace an alternative, unique way of doing something, but we can approach these amazing epiphanies with the practical approach. So that's what you do. You have a practical application of individual genius. When you want to combine Capricorn and Aquarius, or you want to combine Saturn and Uranus, and you want, okay, that's how you combine those. And so, yeah, it's kind of non-blendable energy going on right now. It's up to us to find ways to blend. So we're not just wild and crazy. I think of Steve Martin. That was a long time ago when he did that. But it's like, we're not just like, but we're also not just like old fuddy-duddies where it's like, this is the way it's always been done and this is the way we're going to do it. Because that can also get into Capricorn is tradition. Capricorn is there is a way to do things and we're going to do it that way. And it's like, well, yeah, I got my own way. Hey, I got my Aquarius shirt on. You could see the Aquarius shirt. Yeah. So, so it's like, so it's those kinds of questions. So sometimes, when you're thinking of these things, it's go ahead and don't be afraid of very different energy. There are always ways to blend and to say, okay, let's combine all of this. All right. Now, okay, I got to shuffle these too. Yeah, yeah, yeah. All right. Okay. Now, all right. Now, you know what I wanted? Oh my gosh. It is, and we are in February. This is Black History Month. This is exciting. And we're gonna, and I just thought how wonderful. I saw something that is so wonderful. Okay, so it's Black History Month, so we definitely want to honor that. And so that means during the first part of the month, we have the Aquarius Sun. And how can we honor both? And so I did want to mention, I want to see this concert, but it's Summer of Soul. I'm going to mention it and then I'm going to watch it. But this is perfect because it is a combination of how to honor, and this is how to honor Black History Month with the Aquarius Sun. All right. Because there was even, I saw an interview on Morning Joe and interviewed it's a documentary and it's by Questlove and Amir Questlove Thompson of the Harlem Cultural Festival. And I saw a clip and an Age of Aquarius that was part of it. And I just thought, oh my gosh, this is just so perfect for right now for because this is through the lens of astrology. This is part of what this whole show is about. How can I bring you the information that is really connected to the astrology of what is going on? And the Age of Aquarius, that is the Uber. I talked about that. And Saturn is in Aquarius. That's the path. So everything I say about Sun in Aquarius applies in a really big way to everyone. We should all really be trying to connect to that energy because it is our best friend right now. It's going to honor the group. It's going to benefit the group. Okay. And it's very scientific as well. All these beautiful vaccines, all the scientific advancement, it's finding alternative, unique approaches, and it's honoring individuality. So I want to watch that, but just the clips I saw, I mean, it was amazing. Now, and think about, we really do I talked about Eddie Izzard, and he has a stellium in Aquarius. It's like, this really is about, we have to honor people. And we have to allow everyone to connect to their original voice, and we have to honor it. And yeah, I talked about what Eddie Izzard and Harry Styles, and because they both, wear, yeah, I've seen them both, like, they wear the feminine clothes, and it's like, we have to be fluid, and we have to really be tolerant and fluid, and understand that the originality, it's just important that we honor that. And that's what Aquarius reminds us, above all else. And it brings in, but it is funny because I say all the time, be true to yourself. Okay, so I wanted to give that example because I used that example in a recent, in my Aquarius video. Well, I then saw this TV show. Okay, As We See It, it's absolutely fantastic. It has Rick Glassman in it, and it's about people with autism. Okay, and I saw him interviewed on the Trevor Noah show. That's where I found out about that. It is amazing. Okay, and but what's incredible is there's a scene where Rick Glassman's character, he does something that everybody wants him to apologize because he speaks the truth. All right, because when you have autism, and sometimes, it's like, well, I'm going to just tell you that this is what's going on, and it's like a true statement. And we're kind of like, oh, well, that hurt my feelings, because the truth, I don't think the truth hurts. I love the truth. When Scorpios love the truth. But he was told, he said, well, he said, well, just be the person gave him advice saying, well, just be your true self. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I say this all the time. And he said, the character, if I'm being my true self, I wouldn't apologize. And I just thought, oh my gosh, okay, this is fantastic. And this, in a nutshell, it's like, yeah, there's a fine line, right? About we want to be, but I do say, be your true self, right? Obviously, we want to come from a place of love, right? We want to be our best self, right? So always we want to be our best self, but we do want to be our true self. And even that, I love that. Honesty is the most beautiful thing. And so that's also very Aquarian, and even medically, autism falls under, Aquarius energy. It is, one of a kind. And he even had a quote where he said that somebody had said to him, oh, if you've met somebody with autism, okay, you've met one person with autism. And it's so Aquarian. Everyone is different, right? Everyone is different, and we have to honor that. Okay. Now, all right. So, okay, so now let's go. Yeah, so we've got this. All right, now, so I want to pull a card for, yeah, our, I always do this. We're going to pull a card for the group, right? Because I want to say, we're part of Through the Lens of Astrology. If you're listening, I so appreciate it. And you're part of this group. And I say, I'm part of it. I'm not above it. And it's all about how can we become unified, right? So that we have these intentions, and it magnifies the intentions. And, when you meditate as a group, the energy magnifies exponentially. Okay, so we're going to pick a card that as a group, we can really say, well, if we honor this, we're going to benefit the group. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Amen. Oh, Saturn. Oh my gosh. Now this is beautiful. This elevates the Capricorn energy, and also elevates Aquarius, because yeah, Aquarius has Saturn. This is beautiful. This is very karmic, and it's also saying, it's like, we've got to find, it's like one little hoof at a time. We have to really, it's a little slower. We're going to slow down a little bit, but we're going to go forward because we've got the beautiful fire, and we're going to have a systematic approach. Right? So we're going to incorporate the beautiful Aquarian, epiphanies, right? And the tolerance of Sag, and the big picture thinking. Sag is like always reminding us of the big picture, right? And we're going to have a methodical approach. And it means as a group, we can really create something that is of permanence. Yeah. Oh my gosh, that is so, so gorgeous. Oh, wow. I love it. I love it. Okay. All right. So that is going to benefit the group. And we're going to pick, yeah, we're going to pick one more card for the group. All right. Actually, yeah, no, we're going to pick 3 cards for the group because the new moon spread is for us, but that this is like, how can we specifically benefit the group right now? And how can we benefit the group as far as like the country, right? Like you open up the country and the world. How can we benefit that group? And then how can we benefit our leaders? Yeah. Okay. Because I just like, hey, we got the Sagittarius card. This is big picture thinking, and we do need that. Okay. Amen. Oh, Capricorn. Well, you know what? Look at that. We got 3 planets in Capricorn. We need you. Okay. We need you. You got to step up. Yeah. You are called to action. Step up to the plate big time. I mean, we need you anyway when the energy is in that sign. But this is just saying, hey, we really do need you. Okay. So we need that of, it's also adult energy, and it's being responsible, and it's so when it's finding ways that can create something permanent of longevity, and with that methodical approach. And you know what, since we got these cards, I'm going to go ahead and read, because look, we got Mercury, Mars, and Capricorn. I'm just going to read, and also so you have an idea, if you get the planner, well, what are some things you can do with it? There's a little Mars in Capricorn activity. Okay. So, as I've said, Mars is the planet of action, of sexuality, all right, of war, and is steadily powerful in the sign of the goat. Mars in Capricorn offers the gift of stable and resilient energy. Okay. So there's like, it's like you keep going, you keep going, you keep going. But it's not like you're running or racing. Okay. But you are going. Okay. And all right. And it's the time to work hard. Yeah, you work hard. You get to move forward, you get to work hard. In a consistent, yeah, Saturn and Capricorn. There is a consistency that when you embrace that, you benefit. Okay. So it's about to be consistent, to be and diligent toward your goals. And yeah, and so that's what that's about. So that's an example. And then it's a way to, you ask some questions and you find out where is Capricorn in your chart, and you get to sort of, oh, it activates with this house, and it does this, and this is how. So it's an example of how you can use the planner. Okay. And it's also saying, ooh, yeah. And also, we got to listen to some experts. Capricorn, those are the experts, right? That's like real wisdom. We've got to like embrace wisdom, embrace real knowledge. Okay. Boy, do we need that. Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Fauci, for all you do. Yeah. Yeah. We've got to like look to the experts, get some wisdom. That's the mentorship too, man. Yeah. It's like, how can we share what we know with the group? And then the Aquarius is, yeah, we all have very different areas of knowledge. Okay. All right. Yeah. And we have, yeah, there's so many, like, yeah, we have Eddie Izzard. Yeah, I said Eddie Izzard and Harry Styles. And Eddie Izzard is, I have to say, yeah, she. And I'm that's, yeah, because she is gender fluid. She refers to herself now as gender fluid. I just think it's so beautiful. And so, and that's the Aquarian, right? That it's like, look at that. It's like, okay, yeah. And then it helps us to reach our highest levels of consciousness, right? Because it questions what the cultural imprint is. And it's like, well, that's not, why is that normal? That's not normal. Maybe gender fluid is normal, right? It's like, it questions us, and it's saying, well, of course that's normal. That's what the Aquarius is, normal. That's what it's telling us. To be different is normal. Okay. That we're all, it's like, okay, you've met one person. Okay, you've met one person. We're all different. That's what normal is. Okay. So, all right. Now, okay, yeah. So I said Eddie, and I said Harry Styles, and I said Oprah. Oh yeah, I made a little list. My mom, and yep, I got relatives. Oh yeah, Madonna. I'm pretty sure. Now you never know with the ascendant, but I think I saw a chart that maybe it makes sense. Her ascendant might even be Aquarius rising, but that's somebody who's like constantly um stimulating as it's like people think of, oh, so shocking and oh my gosh, and constantly reinventing, right? And yet that's a beautiful Aquarius. Like she definitely, everything she does makes us question who we are and our cultural imprint, and that's beautiful. Ellen DeGeneres, I talk about all the time. Yeah, she's Aquarian, and Bill Maher I mentioned. Yeah, so many. Okay, let's get, all right, so now we want, all right, so these are, okay. This is like, how are we going to now really benefit our beautiful president, which he really needs. I'll tell you, man, we got to support our president. Okay, people, we got to give some real love out there. All right. And our beautiful vice president too. All right. Oh man. Eighth house. Oh my gosh, guess what? This is the Scorpio house. Look at that. And our president is a beautiful Scorpio. I mean, you look at that transformation, right? This is the house of transformation. Okay. This is the house of obsession and passion. Now, okay. I always say, I know obsession sometimes is looked down on, right? You get into therapy and they're like, we're going to get these obsessions out of you. Okay. Obsessions can be beautiful, right? I say they are beautiful as long as they are worth your time. All right. So you want to make sure it's like passion. Okay. And I just saw, it's funny. I just saw an interview with Kristen Stewart and she said about her acting, love it like a psycho. And it's like, yeah, love it like a psycho. It's like it's obsession. It's like that allows you to perfect something. Okay. And it gives you that passion. So, how can we help our president and vice president right now? Let's get passionate about helping. Let's get passionate about improving this country. Okay, let's passionately pursue these beautiful inspirational messages, right? So that we assert ourselves diplomatically, we recognize differences, and we do everything we can to blend them. And when we can't, we find a way to coexist, right? And we do it with passion and with intensity. This is the most intense house. Okay. And this is also saying we really do need our president right now. Yeah. Yeah. We need Scorpio. And this because it's regeneration. Scorpio is the phoenix. It rises from the ashes. It's all about rejuvenation. Okay. And think about what he's done. I mean, things that kill Scorpios don't kill anybody else. I mean, yet things that kill other people, they never kill Scorpios. Scorpios survive. Okay. He had Pluto and Mars, almost died of the aneurysm. You hear those stories. It's like where it's like Scorpio and Pluto, you come back in a way that's like, wow. So this eighth house, we all need to connect with our most passionate, intense energy and believe in the transformational ability, right? This is the house of resurrection. Yeah. And so how we're going to, so this is the energy of the group. This is kind of very, very shockingly powerful. Wow. All right. Wow. Saturn and Capricorn. Oh my gosh. Maybe this way. Okay. It's easier for you to see. I mean, so it's like, wow, okay, this is really going to benefit the group of through the lens of astrology, of the bigger groups, right, of the country and the world, and our, we really go to our leaders, our president and vice president. Oh my gosh, this is like really something. Okay, I mean, I'm inspired, and I'm always really surprised. You never really know. I'm always like, oh, okay, these are the messages. I think I know what's needed, and this is why I do this, because it's like, okay, it brings us into real alignment. Okay, and it's about unification. Okay, unification. All right, now, okay, now let me see if there was anything else that. Yeah, I wanted to talk about. Okay, so celebrate this beautiful new moon in Aquarius. Okay, be yourself. Yeah, yeah. And I'll get all these beautiful messages up on my social media. And again, if you're watching the video of this, please like and subscribe and check out my Facebook page for more articles. Check out my Instagram. I'm definitely going to get these beautiful messages on those platforms. And we have, yeah, new moon in Aquarius, retrograde energy going direct. Okay. Venus and Mercury. Yep. It's in Capricorn. And so we're going to be honoring these very innovative energies, but we're not going to go off the deep end, okay? Because Aquarius can be pretty rebellious and wild. All right. We are going to, like think also, hey, Jennifer Aniston's Aquarius and she's got a Sagittarius moon. And you know what? We got Sag in there. So, find a way that's comfortable for you all to be as innovative and as humanitarian, right, as we can be, but we're going to do it in that practical, beautiful Capricorn methodical way, okay? So we've got the innovation, and we've got the methodical approach, and we've got the beautiful blending, tolerant energy of Sag. And you know what? I think of Oprah Winfrey. My gosh, she's Sagittarius with a beautiful Aquarius sun. So, it's like, especially, look at your charts. And when you have, because where you want to blend your energy, and sometimes we over identify or under identify with an energy. So, part of what I'm trying to also do is to help you all honor all the different parts and to say that there is a way to bring all of that together. And and yeah, so, and I think the last thing that maybe I want to say, I was really inspired. Rachel Maddow had a lot of information about this wonderful Irishman, Patrick Murphy. And there's this, I don't know if you've been following this, but it was absolutely amazing. These Irish fishermen, Russia wanted to do some military exercises in the waters of these fishermen, and these Irish fishermen stood up, but stood up with, you would hear them speak. It's like, that's like the Venus action of standing up, of they were just assertively diplomatic, and Russia backed down. And it's like, and it was just amazing. I was like, okay. And we're all very powerful, right? You have to share your truth, right? And it's like, what a unique position and experience of, like, okay, we're fishermen. You think, well, what power do they have? Let's step into our power, right? And say, yeah, we want to own our power. We all have that. And so I was very inspired by that story. And yeah, by Patrick Murphy and all the Irish fishermen. So you can check that out on Rachel Maddow, and Lawrence O'Donnell covered it as well. And I was very inspired. So let's also honor look, that's a unique Aquarius alternative approach to a solution that you would think of, what? That's that's what I'm talking about. We can come up with these amazingly original approaches, and then we're going to do a Capricorn step by step. Yeah. Okay. All right. So, yeah, that's our show. Until next time, enjoy and embrace transformation.